Hey, what's happening, friends? This is part one of a two-part series where we're going to be talking about the updates to the new way that we handle commissions due to the lawsuit that we've talked about plenty already on this channel. And so this first part is going to be geared towards sellers and three things that a seller should be prepared for and aware of in the new world. And this is based off of my observations over the last 5 weeks, kind of dealing with this. And these are the things that I'm recommending to our seller clients to consider if you list property with us. So the first one is very important, is you never had to, but in the new market, I would not, as a seller, commit to a compensation amount, a specific compensation amount up front with your listing broker. You should negotiate a cost of that listing broker putting your home on the market, but on the buyer side of the table, you should absolutely offer some type of compensation, but you shouldn't commit to it up front. You should say that it's available, that you're willing to negotiate for it, and then deal with it at the time of offer, which we will talk about here in a second. So very, very important is if you feel like you're being convinced or forced to commit to an amount up front, I would not do that. I don't think it's in your best interest, because you may intend to pay a buyer's agent 2.5% or 3%, but a buyer's agent may come and only ask for 2%, and then you save 1 or 0.5% based on what that buyer's agent negotiated with their buyer. So it's something that you want to consider. Is you can have the intent to do it, maybe have that money set aside, budgeted to do it, but you really want to see what a buyer's agent asks for before you commit to that actual expense. With all that being said, the second thing that you got to be prepared for is that you will receive offers that are going to ask for compensation. You may not want to pay for compensation, you may not expect to pay for compensation, but at the end of the day, even if you don't offer it, in most cases, and what we're seeing is 90+% of offers that are coming in are asking for some type of compensation, either directly from the seller to the buyer's brokerage or as a concession through the buyer for the buyer to pay for their representation. The reason this is because a lot of buyers don't have a lot of out-of-pocket expense money available, and they need some contribution in order to make all of their financing work, to cover their closing costs, their loan costs. And so just prepare for it. The cost of representation doesn't go away. You may or may not be asked. In many cases, you will be asked, but just be prepared to have that discussion and make sure that your agent prepares you for that, so you understand what your net is going to be if different scenarios play out and you do have to end up making a contribution towards compensation. And so that's the second thing, is just prepare to receive offers that ask for compensation, irregardless of what you offer or don't offer. And the third thing is, before you commit to anything, just evaluate offers at the time when you get them, and then decide what to do based on the offer. Every offer is going to be considerably different. I'll give you two extremes. You may get an investor who wants the absolute rock bottom price, is paying their agent separately, doesn't want any contribution from you, and they just want to negotiate the lowest price possible and most favorable terms for you to leave quickly and buy your home. You don't have to worry about compensation at that point. You're going to have to negotiate your net based off of the sales price. On the other end of the spectrum, you may get a VA, first-time home buyer, who has little to no money down to contribute towards their closing costs, and they may ask for you to cover their closing costs in full, in addition to their commission that their agent is going to earn. So it could be additional closing costs that they have to pay for. They may ask for some type of credit. In that case, you may want to negotiate the sales price up to compensate for the net difference in the amount of money that you walk away with. But it's something that you want to consider at the time of sale, is look at each individual offer separately and see what the situation is, consult with your agent and figure out what your net is going to be, and then respond accordingly. So you don't have to commit to anything up front. You don't have to pre-negotiate anything at the time of listing your property. Really, you want to start to look at offers as they come in and figure out what makes the most sense for you and for your buyer, so you can mutually benefit in the sale of your property. All stuff to consider, but it's something that we're seeing, and it's something that I'm recommending. There's no need to commit to any type of number. You can commit to the idea of compensation and contributing towards it, but you don't have to commit to a number, because it's not in your best financial interest to do so. But be prepared. You're probably going to get asked for it. And again, if you have any questions, if you have an agent and you're in a transaction, you need to ask them. But if in general you have any questions about how this all works and the way the business is operating now, I'd be happy to walk you through it. You can always book a meeting in with the link in the comments, or email me at Dylan@BuyBigIsland. But thank you guys for watching. This is your update for sellers in the new world, and buyers will be up next. Aloha.